Hey, welcome back to the podcast. On this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 best decisions I ever made for my business, and we are going to dive in right now. So, starting at number 5, and these are going to go in order to number 1 being the best. Number 5, the best decision that I made, number 5 on the list, is job costing. Now, some of you may be like, that's like the most obvious thing, Brad. Like, of course you should be job costing. And if you don't know what job costing is, it's very basic. It just means at the end of the job, you go back, you add up all your expenses, you look at all your labor, you look at all your subcontractor costs, everything, and seeing, does the final number match what I estimated, right? If I estimated 100 hours on this job, did I hit 100 hours? If I estimated $20,000 in materials, did I have $20,000 in materials? That's all it is. A lot of people want to overcomplicate this. They want to make it some, super complex formula you got to figure out. It's very easy to do. And if you haven't got it already, I have a free job costing worksheet you guys can download. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But when I started in 2009, there were no Facebook groups to teach you anything. There were no YouTube videos to teach you anything. I mean, it's very simple. When you see it, you'll be like, well, there's not much here. I'm like, yeah, because it's very simple, but yet nobody does it, or most people don't do it. I shouldn't say nobody does it. Most people don't do it. I didn't do any job costing for like the first 9 years. I know that sounds crazy, but one thing here I want to, I want to put a little disclaimer in the podcast right here. This information didn't exist. Like, you could rent a book or buy a book, and that was about it. Or you could, hire a coach, hire a mentor, or find somebody that could tell you this. This stuff wasn't freely available on the internet as it is today. So some of you, if you started your business last year, you're like, well, I've been job costing the whole time. Well, yeah, because 13 years ago, you would not have known to do that unless someone told you. So just keep that in mind. Like, yes, you should do that. And I'm glad this information is out there. I'm putting it out there. There's lots of other resources that put it out there to make it easier and better for everyone else. But sometimes I get comments on TikTok and stuff. It's like, well, no crap, Sherlock, you're supposed to do that. Again, this wasn't readily available information back when I first started. Okay. So just keep that in mind. But job costing really helped me to understand where my profit leaks were in my business. Right. I distinctly remember, I've shared this story before. Once I started job costing, we did this basement job, and it was like 40 minutes outside of town. It wasn't terribly far, but a good enough drive. Maybe it was like 30 minutes, but it was an hour round trip to go to like the Lowe's or the store to get stuff, plus the time there. Really, it's like an hour and a half total. And when the job got done, I'm like, dude, where's all the profits at? What happened to all my profits? And it was right in front of my face. I didn't even notice it. Physically, it was in front of my face. I always had my guys keep the receipts when they went to the store, and then we would put them all together, and I put them in my folder that I have, and I would go through each receipt, to verify the charges and all that stuff. And I had a whole stack of receipts, Lowe's receipts. And it's like, this is a lot of receipts. And so I counted them, and there were 25 receipts from Lowe's for this job. And this was like a 6-week project. 25 trips to the store at an hour and a half round trip minimum. You wonder where your profits are at? They got ate up in drive time. This isn't a underestimating problem per se. This was a planning problem. This was not having the right materials. This was not hiring the subcontractors to do work that we were trying to do ourselves. I mean, there's lots of things here that we learned from that one job, but it's very easy to get done with the job and be like, I don't know where all my profits at. It's like, it's right in front of your face. If you just go back in job costs, you'll see it. You will see where your profit leaks are. So number 5 is job costing. You should be job costing every single job. I don't care if you do one thing and it's the same thing every single time. You should be able to job cost it. If it's that easy, you should be able to job cost it within 3 to 5 minutes. But you should look and see, because it's also going to help you with productivity. How are my guys doing? If you're doing the same job every day and it takes 8 hours to do one job, right? But then your guys are taking 9, 10 hours to do the job. What's going on here? I have a history of being able to complete it in 8 hours. Why all of a sudden with these new people, it's taking 9 or 10 hours, right? It will be very blatantly obvious that there's like a productivity problem going on. So job costing not only helps you with your profit, it also helps you with productivity issues, helps you with scheduling. It helps you with estimating. It helps you with, job management, project management. It helps you with a lot of areas of your business. So number 5 was job costing. My nose like super itches today for some reason. Number 4, charging for estimates or consultations. I mean, it blows my mind. Like, again, I did this for like 9 years, guys. It blows my mind why people think that doing free estimates is the best use of our time. Now, I get a lot of pushback here from all angles. I get pushback from the crowd that say, that's just a part of business. That's just a part of doing business, and you just need to factor that into your overhead, right? If you go look at 10 jobs a week and you sell 6 of them, you lose 4, 40%, loss rate, and then you factor how much time that takes, and then you just add that to your overhead. So if it's 2 hours per at 4, that's 8 hours total plus, 100 miles of driving or whatever it is. You just factor that time in, and then you just punish the people that you do sell to. In other words, you just make up for it. You make up for the bad clients by punishing the good clients. That's their train of thought. Okay. Then you get the pushback from obviously the contractors that say that this will never happen. This isn't possible. It won't work in my town, for my city, for my trade, for my business, blah, 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 blah. Always pushback there. They've never actually tried it. They just know with 100% certainty it won't work, even though they've never actually tried it one time, right? Or maybe they tried it one time and totally sucked at delivering that information and then said, see, this doesn't work. I tried it one time and it doesn't work. Forget the fact that literally thousands and thousands and thousands of contractors do this every day, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. Okay. Charging for estimates, in other words, no longer doing free estimates. And this kind of couples in with learning sales, getting better at sales. I cannot tell you how much time it's freed up, how much time it has saved me. That, mental time, physical time, cost, all of that. It just completely changed the whole dynamic of my sales almost overnight once I started charging for consultations or doing estimates. Because now you're only dealing with people that are serious. And it's crazy. People don't understand this. If you've never done it, the more you pay for something, the more value you add to it. This is why people buy Mercedes and expensive cars and nice houses and Rolexes. The difference between a Rolex and my Galaxy watch here, my Galaxy watch costs like $300 and a Rolex can cost $30,000. They both keep time. This one actually has a lot more features. I can check my heart rate and, I can check my exercising and all that stuff. Rolex won't do that. But why is it all of a sudden it's the symbol of success is that you have a Rolex? There's nothing special about them as far as the actual watch itself. But yet we pay $30,000 for a Rolex. All of a sudden it makes it that much better. And that's just psychological. When you pay more for something, you perceive it to have more value. So when your clients pay you to do a consultation, they perceive that you're a higher level contractor and they're going to receive more value from you, even if you don't provide any more value than the contractor that does the free estimate. This is the part that you guys don't understand. 2 contractors, equal in all ways, like they're basically identical twin companies. Contractor A does free estimates. Contractor B charges $500 to do a consultation. The same client will think that the contractor B, who's charging $500 for the consultation, they will get a better experience and they will assign a higher value of that experience to that client, to the contractor, simply because he charges $500 more. You can argue with me all day long if you want. This is scientifically proven. It's called pricing bias. There's been all kinds of studies where they've had people test 3 different glasses of champagne, one at like $5 bottle, one's a $50 bottle, and one's a $100 bottle. And overwhelmingly, they say the $100 bottle of champagne or wine or whatever it was tasted better, even though all 3 bottles of those were the exact same brand, the exact same bottle of wine. Simply assigning more, charging more for that bottle, people assigned more value to it. Again, this is scientifically proven. This is not just Brad making stuff up. When you charge for your consultations, when you charge for your estimates, you will psychologically elevate yourself in front of your clients. And at the same time, you will eliminate people that aren't serious about doing the work. It's a win-win scenario. There's a second part of this. When you're doing free estimates for people and you have like 5 of them stacked up in one day, how much time and dedication, energy and effort do you put into each one of those estimates when you're talking with those clients? You may think that you're putting in a lot of time and energy, but you're probably not as much as you think you are. And your clients will pick up on that. They will feel like their job's not that important. Conversely, when someone pays you $500 or more for a consultation and you're going there knowing that you're getting paid, you will put a lot more effort into the consultation itself and that experience because you want to make sure they're getting their money's worth. So you actually give a better experience to your clients when you charge them more. I know that sounds crazy to some of you. Some of you love to be the champions of being poor and you run a charity. It's just disguised as, your business, but you literally just run a charity because you want to give away your time and money and resources and all that for free, basically. But whenever you charge them, you actually give your clients a better experience. You want to give them a better experience. You want to go out of your way to make the product and experience better. So number 4 is charging for estimates or consultations. Number 3, and this backs right into charging for estimates. Number 3 is selling jobs at a 50% gross profit. Now, you've heard me preach this blue in the face, but this is a dark and dirty. I shouldn't say dark. This is a what's the word I'm looking for? Simple, archaic, and easy way to make money. Is this the best way to be profitable in business? No, it's not. It's just the simplest way. And most of the contractors that I've run across, including myself, we want things simple. Hey, just a quick timeout from the show. In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can transform your contracting business. Imagine being part of a community of winners where you can find out exactly what they've done to be successful. That's exactly what you get when you join the Profit Club. But it's not just a community. You get lifetime access to all of my course-related material, including all future material that I add. But wait, there's more. Each week, you'll get access to 3 group coaching calls to talk about sales, marketing, and business problems and answer any questions that you may have. Still not convinced? How about personalized one-on-one coaching to help you overcome your limits? And here's my promise to you. I guarantee you will double your investment within 90 days, or I personally will work with you one-on-one until you do. So don't wait. Elevate your game with the Profit Club today. Now let's get back to the show. And so when you're trying to tell me that I got to apply different margins to materials and different margins to labor and different margins to equipment and have all these different percentages and all these crazy formulas and equations to try and figure out how to get my profit margins competitive and all that, you can do that if you want. And there's people that teach that and preach it. And I have people complaining to me about how 50%, 100% markup is not good enough. It's not a very good way to run a business. And sure, okay, it's not the best way. But if you look at someone like Dave Ramsey, who has become very successful helping people get out of debt, he doesn't do it by teaching you the best financial ways to get out of business. He does it by combating traits, behaviors that people have. So like his debt snowball, where you pay off the lowest dollar amount first, regardless of the percentage rate, financially is not the best decision. If you have a $1,000 credit card at a 10% interest rate, and you have a $5,000 credit card at a 20% interest rate, most people would say, well, pay off the 20% interest rate because it's eating you alive. What he's telling you to do is pay off the $1,000 first because it's the lowest dollar amount. You pay that off, you get some movement, you get some energy, you get some excitement around paying that off, right? And then you apply that payment to the 5,000. So financially, it's not the best decision. Getting a 50% gross profit by doubling your material and labor is not the best mathematical way to do it, but it is the simplest. And like me and everything that I've built in my program, I built it for myself, and I suck at math. And so I want the simplest way to be profitable. And so the 50% gross profit was the easiest thing to do. And once I started doing that, instantly doubled all my profit, like instantly, because I wasn't even getting nowhere near 50%. I was marking up my material and labor 50%, thinking that that was getting me a 50% gross profit, because most people don't even understand the difference between margin and markup, and they are not the same. In order to get a 50% gross profit, you have to mark up your COGS, your material and labor, 100%. You mark that up 100%, it gives you a 50% gross profit. If I have $1,000 job of COGS, 500 in labor, 500 in material, that's $1,000. If I mark it up 100%, or essentially doubling it, that's $2,000 total. I sell a job for $2,000, I produce it for $1,000, that leaves $1,000 profit. That's a 50% gross profit. I made 50% profit on the total amount, which was $2,000. Okay. If I only mark it up 50%, then that only gives me, and it's $1,000, and that means I'm only charging $1,500. I'm not charging $2,000. And then you don't end up with the 50% gross. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's 33%. I think a 50% markup is a 33% gross. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, do the math, but you only end up with 33% profit. So the simple way of doing it is just doubling whatever your cost is. But when you do that, you instantly add profit to your pocket, because here's the beauty of this. Most people, most contractors, even though they're not really making any money, like they're kind of breaking even, they're paying their costs, they're paying their overhead. So when you increase your prices, you don't increase any overhead whatsoever. So anything that you increase in terms of profit goes straight into your pocket or your company's pocket. It is a pure profit addition. That's the beauty of it. And you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to do any more jobs. You can do the exact same number of jobs. If you're doing 20 jobs a year now, and you go from a 30% gross profit to a 50% gross profit, that's a 20% increase in profit. Okay. But you don't have to do any more jobs. You're still doing 20 jobs. It's very powerful. Very, very powerful. When you do that, your business changes overnight. The first time you ever sell a job at a 50% gross profit, you will kick yourself in the butt and say, I cannot believe I've been screwing myself all these years. Because you'll prove to yourself that there are people out there who are willing to pay more for a better quality experience. You just have to find those people. Now, when you do this, will you lose some clients? Yes, you will. But you're thinning the herd. You're actually getting rid of the ones that were not really good clients to begin with and replacing them with really good clients. That's just the natural progression, right? But 50% gross profit is what's really going to change your business. Number two is I was hiring an office manager. I don't even know how I ran my business for so long. Once I hired an office manager, she took over so much information, like so many activities and tasks, that I was like, how in the crap did I even do all this before? I don't even know. And to the point to where if I ran out of money or whatever, times got tough and I had to lay off everybody, my office manager would be the last person that I would lay off. I would go back on the tools, work by myself, and keep my office manager before I got rid of, I would do that instead of getting rid of her or, the office manager. I would get rid of my field guys first every time. But when you hire one, it's scary for the first time. So hiring one really changed and allowed me to work on the business on more important, higher level tasks. And the easiest thing to do is like figure out what your value is per hour. And anything that's underneath that dollar amount per hour, if you can hire someone to do that, you should. You should absolutely hire someone to do anything that's less than what you can charge for your services. So if your hourly value for your business is, let's say it's $100 an hour, if I can hire someone at $50 an hour to do my job or part of it, then that's a savings. If it's more, if mine's an hour, $100 an hour, and I got to pay someone $120 an hour to do a certain thing, then that's not worth it. But most people, I mean, you can hire an office manager for like 20, $25 an hour or less. And you can even do it part-time. There's ways around this, guys, and it's very, very valuable. They will give you so much freedom in your business. It's like, I just can't even describe it. It's crazy. Make sure you find a good one. Don't hire your niece that just graduated high school because she needs a job. Find someone who knows what they're doing, and you will see the difference. The number one best decision I ever made for my business, and I already know what you guys are going to say, was hiring a business coach. You're going to say, but Brad, you're just trying to sell your services. No, I have multiple business coaches right now in my business. Once I hired a business coach, it gives you an outside perspective into your business and allows them to tell you your blind spots, what you suck at, what you need to do better at, what you need to outsource. When you have the experience of someone else who works with other people in your industry, they know what kind of industry standard things are. They know what works. I have just over 60 clients that were in the Profit Club. And so that's 60 different businesses that I can look into and say, well, this is how so-and-so did this, and it worked really well. This is what so-and-so is doing in their business, and it's not working. They had to change it up, right? So you have the data. I have the data to be able to share with you what works and what doesn't work. I also have a constant feedback loop with my clients. So if somebody's trying a new marketing technique in Florida and it's killing it, it's working really well, I can take that information and share it with my other clients. Hey, so and so in Florida has tried this, it's working great. Why don't you try it? Or the opposite. They try this, it didn't work. You guys shouldn't do it. That's one aspect of it. The other part of it is it's the shortcut, the learning process. Because when you learn organically, the only thing you can do is learn everything that you can possibly learn. And then you have to decipher what you think is the best information. So I can give you, if I was learning, I go on YouTube and I watch 1,000 different videos or listen to this podcast or whatever, and I get 5 different opinions about stuff. Let's just pick like charging for estimates. I get 5 different opinions. 3 of them say you should charge, 2 of them say you shouldn't, and they're opposing opinions. You personally have to decide which one you think is the correct way. And then you have to test that in real life. But when you have a coach, they can just tell you, look, this is what works. We already know all this. We've already deciphered all this information. We've already experienced it in our own business. You don't need to go out and learn that. So you literally are shortening the learning curve of this information. I will never, and as long as I own a business, I will never not have a business coach or a mentor or be in some kind of program as long as it's possible. I keep elevating. I keep joining higher level programs and masterminds because I'm elevating my knowledge and I'm getting the shortest route possible. That is the benefit of hiring a business coach. It's not to just tell you the information that you can learn on YouTube. And that's what people think it is. It's not. The other side of hiring a coach is if they have some kind of community available. Now you're getting the benefit of all of the contractors in that community to share back and forth. I'm very proud of the community that I've built and the community that we have and how that all works together, because you get so much more soundboarding, you get so much more support. When you have a community where everybody genuinely wants you to succeed, I can't describe to you the feeling of that. You're no longer going at business alone. You have a corner behind you. You have a group of people that actually are there to support you. And that is what your business coach should do for you as well. So, hiring a business coach was the best decision I ever made in my contracting business. Guys, I got to end it here. I hope this was helpful. Shoot me a message if you want to learn more about how the Profit Club can help you. Also, if there's anything else I can ever do for you, please shoot me a message. I'm very open, very welcome to help in any way possible. Some people think I'm like unapproachable. It's not the case. If you see me out in the wild, please come up, say hi. We can chat. I'd love to get to know more about you and your business and just really just have a conversation. So always feel free to message me if you need help with anything. I'll do my best. And until next time, guys, remember, you can find me on all the social platforms, Instagram, Facebook. What did I say? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search for the Hammer and Grind podcast. Until next time, remember, profit is not a dirty word.